Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 20. We've made it all the way to episode 20.
We don't talk about this. If I was going to turn to you and say, we made it to 20?
We made it to 20. My name is Jason Erpelding. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. This is Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-RENTAL and buyandselldvc.com.
Remember, if you're looking to rent DVC points, rent out your DVC points, you want to visit DVC-Rental. Remember the dash to save the cash. And if you're looking to sell your Disney Vacation Club property or you want to buy a Disney Vacation Club property, you want to go to buyandselldvc.com. Today is June 23rd. So your 11-month window is going to be May 23rd, 2022. And your 7-month window is going to be January 23rd, 2022. And we're going to start out by showing a video from a guest sharing their personal experience about using their DVC. We hope you enjoy these personal experiences that people share. And if you have one that you want to share, please let us know. You can email me at jason@buyandselldvc.com. I can send you some information on how to record and some ideas on what you might record. And it can be anybody. Again, it can be you, your family, your kids, the grandma, grandpa, whoever.
Yeah, you don't have to have bought a contract from us or rented points out through us, but just your experiences with Disney Vacation Club.
Exactly. So we're going to play this clip from David, who was kind enough to do this for us. We appreciate that very much. So please watch and let him share his experience.
Hello, Disney Ohana. My name's David Bacciano. I'm from New Jersey. I'm married to an amazing woman who happens to be as equally obsessed with Disney as I am. Together we have a 12-year-old son who thinks that Disney is just the coolest place to be. And we own Disney Vacation Club, or DVC. We own at the Polynesian Resort. My wife Kim's a first-grade teacher here in New Jersey, so we vacation at Walt Disney World every spring break. We spend Easter there. That's where we go. We've been going for about the past 5 years, either staying on Disney property to renting points through DVC-Rental to get a feel of Vacation Club, and then eventually purchasing a contract. So as a family, we did rent points first, and we thought that that was a great idea because it gives you an idea of what the Vacation Club is without buying into it, without any knowledge. We did our research. We made sure we understood everything about Disney Vacation Club, where we wanted to own at, what resorts we enjoyed the most, what our use year should be. Use year is a very important thing with Disney Vacation Club. Your use year helps you book 11 months in advance at your home resort. So, we also had sold some points through DVC-Rental that we couldn't use, unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions. Being here in New Jersey, we just couldn't make one of our trips in the past year and a half, so we rented our points. But the processes of renting through Scott and his awesome team at DVC-Rental.com was extremely easy. His team walks you through the entire process. Just like magic, it's over as fast as the takeoff on Rock and Roller Coaster. I mean, you couldn't expect the process to be any easier than what it is. Smooth, no issues. Everything's done electronically, signatures, and again, just my hat's off to DVC-Rental and the amazing staff there. So let's talk about what do we enjoy at Disney, right? So one of the things that my family enjoys about our visits to Walt Disney World is spending as much time as we can at the resorts. The resorts have as much to see, if not more, than some, the parks, food, and attractions, but the resorts also have great food and dining experiences and drinks and things for kids as well as the adults. So, when you rent DVC through DVC-Rental, you're staying at deluxe accommodations for moderate prices, especially if you snag a last minute deal. Fantastic. I mean, you can't beat the last minute deals with the amount of money per point to stay at a deluxe resort, it's a dream come true. The Disney resorts are incredibly well themed. They should be used to relax, unwind, take it all in. You know, most pools at the deluxe resorts have a water slide, you know, which are not just fun for the kids, but also for the adults. They're very well themed. You know, as a family, we also love to get our favorite snacks at the resorts or bring something home from the park to enjoy. You know, back at our resort, one of the great things about staying at the Poly or being on site at the Poly is the fact that they have pineapple lanai, and I can get a Dole Whip every night, where my son can get, you know, an orange swirl, mixed vanilla orange, you know, ice cream that he also loves. So, you know, and the cool thing too about the resorts is they have great, you know, themed and fun adult beverages as well. So, you know, again, when we're at the Polynesian, I like to try the Pago Pago painkiller or a Lapu Lapu. Walk around with a giant pineapple drink. So one of the other greatest things about Disney is their customer service and guest relations, right? So as parents of a child on the autism spectrum, you know, we love the fact that Disney goes above and beyond to accommodate families such as ours. You know, ultimately, that's why we became DVC members. We knew it was right for us because the first time we took our son to Disney, he was 4 going on 5, and we just couldn't believe how much we felt welcome there, and how Disney really goes out of their way to accommodate people, you know, not just people with disabilities, but everybody, but we really just felt welcome there. You know, we rented, again, DVC before buying a contract, which really helped us, you know, see if it was going to be the right thing for us. And, you know, because of that, you know, we never looked back. So again, we rent it, we bought, you know, and so whether you're looking to rent, DVC points, you want to buy a resale contract, or you want to sell your contract, DVC-RENTAL and Buy and Sell DVC is a one-stop shop. You don't really have to look any further than that. You know, be part of the magic. Don't wait. You know, just make sure you do your homework, look through it, see if it's the right thing for you. But once you have that, you know, decision made up, then go for it. And one more thing, I almost forgot. Welcome home.
So hopefully you enjoyed that video from David. Again, thanks for sharing. So a couple things I just want to just touch on a little bit. First of all, I mean, I think it's great that when, you know, it sounds like David did a little bit of research before jumping into his membership.
As you should.
Right, right.
This is a huge, there's so many people who don't though.
Right, right. But I mean, but there's a lot of people that don't jump in, don't do research, jump in, and it still works out for them.
Oh, of course, yes.
So, but some people, you know, they like, from watching David's video, so his wife is a teacher, he likes to vacation at Easter time, and then that's one of those things where, you know, Easter moves around every year. So, you know, I don't know how many points he owns or whatever the case may be, because, you know, that week is going to change. It's not like he says, I'm going to come, you know, February 10th to the 17th every year. So he moves around. He loves to stay at the Polynesian. So he makes his reservation, I'm assuming 11 months in advance or close to 11 months in advance for when he's going to go. Sounds like he loves the Dole Whips. So, and then he brings his son along, and his son enjoys Disney, enjoys the experience. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's always nice when you see, you know, yeah, you can have a DVC membership, but if you don't use it and you're not creating memories with your family, you know, to me, that's what it's all about. It's using it, creating the memories with your family, and, you know, it sounds like he's getting, you know, what he wants. He wants that stay at the Polynesian. He wants to book it for the time when, you know, that's convenient for him, when his wife has a break over Easter. And he did mention about U-Share. The one thing I do want to make sure that you're on, in regards to U-Share, your U-Share does not affect your 11-month booking window at your home resort. So if you own at the Polynesian and you want to book 11 months in advance, you can, today is June 23rd, so the 11-month booking window is May 23rd. You can make that reservation with any use year that you have. Of course, is there a better use year for you depending on when you travel? I mean, yes, like if you're always going to vacation, if you know you're always going to come in December, the best use year for you to own is December, and then you go backwards. There's no November use year. You go October, September, August. You can even go back to June. Those are all going to work well for someone that vacations in December. All those use years are going to work well for someone that vacations in December. But if you buy the wrong use year, you can still make it work,
Keep going. I'm writing notes.
So, I mean, if you buy the wrong use year, it's really only going to affect you if you ever have to cancel your reservation, because then your points have to be used by the end of your use year. But, and if hopefully we're going to get some more personal experiences that come in, because so far we've had King that shared his experience. So, King vacation is different than David. King makes a reservation at his home resort 11 months in advance. Under 7 months, he goes on a wait list and he goes around to other resorts. He says he's only stayed at Boulder Ridge twice. David, on the other hand, appears
the Poly guy.
Is a Poly guy. He wants to stay at the Poly, and he knows when he wants to stay at the Poly. So again, there's only been 2 experiences so far, but you can see that the membership has many different ways that you can use it. There's not one set way for every family.
I was going to mention that's what's great about DVC is that the flexibility with it is that, if you're looking for last minute smaller trips, like maybe I know King's booking in advance as well, but King lives in Florida, so if he's looking for a last minute trip 3 months from now, he can grab 2 nights here. Where David, he's booking at the 11-month window for holiday weeks every year for a week.
And he's coming from New Jersey.
He's coming from New Jersey, so it's like there's so much flexibility. One week you want a studio for the whole week, and then for a graduation you want a 3-bedroom grand villa for a night. So DVC has so much flexibility that it's what makes it a lot better than all the other timeshares out there. Is that you can change the way that you travel and vacation whenever you want.
And so now we're going to go into your food review of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
So for this week's food review, we went over to Epcot, the World Showcase Pavilion. I guess I used to think it was called the Festival Center, but it's called the World Showplace Pavilion in World Showcase by Canada. It's kind of like hidden in the back. But for the last couple festivals, they've been opening it up and having a bunch of different food options back there and performers as well. And this time we tried the dark chocolate raspberry tart with whipped cream for $4.25. Now, the picture that you're seeing on the screen is going to show you that there's like a little raspberry compote or coulis or something to make the chocolate tart have that raspberry flavor. Ours did not have that at all. We tried it. It was very, very, very small. It was small little thing. Did not have the raspberry on it. And I was curious because I went up to a cast member after we ate it, and I had said, I see the picture. Is it supposed to have raspberry on it as well? She's like, yeah, there's no raspberry, and it doesn't even taste like chocolate. Which, truthfully, we thought it tasted chocolatey. But I mean, the cast member who was serving it was even kind of like, this is a disappointment.
Was there a raspberry shortage, or?
I don't know if there's a raspberry shortage, but I don't.
That's what I was waiting for you to tell me.
I can't believe there's a raspberry shortage.
The cast member was going to tell you
there could be. I can't get lumber or raspberries. That'd be really weird. But I mean, it was decent. It needed the raspberry. I gave it a 5.5. I mean, I would never ever buy this again for the price. Also, it's a tiny little thing. It tasted decent, but it really needed that raspberry to it, and there was no raspberry. They put some sort of I want to say raspberry flakes. Like the whipped cream had little like red sprinkles on it. I think it was supposed to be some of the raspberry, but there's supposed to be like a whole coulis or something, and it just wasn't there. So it missed, and the cast member knew it missed.
Well, I thought for sure there was going to be an explanation from the cast member, but there was just.
I would think so too. She's just like, I mean, they even threw in there, it doesn't even taste like chocolate. And I was like, normally, honestly, you don't get cast members who, I don't say anything disparaging, but they don't mention a shortfall or whatever. But she just immediately was like, yeah, there's no raspberry and it doesn't taste like chocolate. So it was one of those moments. Okay, a little miss. Again, 5.5, it's not bad, but I can't encourage anybody to go out and get this thing.
And where was this at again? Sorry.
It's called the World Showplace Pavilion. It's when you're by Canada. There's like a little road right by where the Joffrey's cart is. If you go back there, there's a big building way in the back. A lot of times they used to do a lot of trainings or parties, like after-hour parties and stuff back there. But they've been, for the Food and Wine Festival and for all the stuff they've had recently, they've had it open for food options and entertainment, which has been really cool. But I wasn't sure. I didn't even find out what it was called because I'd never really seen it open before until several months ago. But World Showplace Pavilion by Canada. You can't miss it, right by the Joffrey's cart.
And there's lots of things on the menu?
It's got like 3 or 4 different sections. Like this one was in a place that was, what were they serving in the ciders? And that's what I wanted to mention also was, before we taped this show, I went in to like check out which spot it was in. And it was a place that was selling different types of ciders. And when one of the other Disney like food blogs out there mentioned like what they were going to be exhibiting this year, it mentioned the ciders. It didn't mention any food. So I don't know if possibly these foods were like added as an afterthought, and maybe that's why they're not as good or they missed. But there's like, one section has like the cider stuff. One section will have desserts. One will have this. Like there's like 3 different sections, and there's a stage where a lot of times they'll have somebody playing a piano live. So it's actually cool to visit back there. But yeah, this was only from one of the 3 sections that we went to. And this one also had like cheddar biscuits. I was like, ooh, cheddar biscuits. These look good, served with salmon tartare on it. And I was like, I'm going to pass on that. So, and not my thing. I'm sure somebody out there was yelling at me because they like salmon tartare, but it typically has like 2 or 3 food options and then like 6 drinks. And
so you want to avoid the dark chocolate raspberry tart.
Yeah, I mean, again, if somebody was giving them out for free, yeah, I'll have another one because why the heck not? But, for $4.25 with it being small and not tasting like the raspberry, I wouldn't get it again. But again, not bad.
We need to have a couple of good food reviews coming from you.
We've had a couple in a row that are not as great. I mentioned on the last episode is that I try to be as honest as possible. There's so many websites out there that, I mean, everything, this is a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's always positive no matter what. So I want to be honest and go out there and be like, this one was a miss. This one is just fair. And that way also, honestly, when I give higher recommendations, when I say something's an 8.9 or something, I mean, I really believe that one was really, really good because a lot of these are 5s. And again, a 5 is like average. So I'm going, it's a little above average, but it's not something I'd ever get again.
Gotcha. And I mean, the only food review I've been a part of, I thought it was good. That was really good. So,
and that was with our buddy King as well.
Yes. So we need to get some good food. We need to find Scott some high quality options.
If you think again, we read every single comment that people post. So if there's something out there you're going, Scott, you've got to try this, please put it in the comment section. Let us know, and I'll go out there and try stuff and sacrifice myself for you guys.
And remember, if you see Scott in the parks, hey, just tell him, hey, you got to have me involved in this food review.
That works too. The problem is if I keep doing all these food reviews, you're not going to be able to not see me in the park because I'm going to be huge.
So now we're moving on to a subject here. This is titled 5 Mistakes or Errors that DVC members make regarding membership. Hopefully this does not go viral or anything here, what Scott's about to reveal.
And hopefully you have not made these mistakes, or hopefully have not made many of these mistakes. Now, the first one on this list is overvaluing perks. And this is more of a direct versus resale thing, is that a lot of people sit there and they go, oh my God, you have to get the perks direct from Disney because, you're going to get a lesser experience if you buy resale. And there's a decent amount of perks that they have out there, which Disney could take away at any given point. But 90% of those perks you would never use, or they're not a good value. Like, when you buy directly from Disney, you can use points to do Disney cruises or use Adventures by Disney. You would never want to do those anyway. And a lot of times that's one of the big selling points directly from Disney is that, you can use for the cruises. Like the new Wish just came out, and I think per person it was like 500 points, for the cruise per person. Value this. We rent out points for $20 a point. That's $10,000 per person. I mean, that's a horrible use of of your points. You could rent them out. We'll rent them out for you. Take the money, use the cash to buy the cruise. So overvaluing those perks and thinking that, I definitely can't go resale because I'm going to be missing out on stuff. You got to be really careful about that.
Right. Plus, I mean, just to add to that, like, yeah, if you talk to someone that's a member and you've surveyed these members and said over the last 15 years, how many times have you used your points for a Disney cruise, Adventures by Disney, or
concierge collection? Yeah.
It's going to be such a small percentage. So that's the thing is, you're there's a lot of things that you're not doing.
And truthfully, if the people have used it for that, they probably don't even know about renting points because they would run the numbers and say, it doesn't make sense. It makes much more sense to rent out the points and use the cash because it's an absurd amount of points that Disney charges for the cruises and for Adventures by Disney and the concierge collection as well. So number 2 on my list is expecting to easily switch at the 7-month window. Now I know we just spoke about this
on episode 19.
Yep, episode 19. Yep, it's it still can be done, but to easily switch, I mean, it used to be much easier. Now I'll tell you that the first time that I became a DVC member, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this now, is that I became a member, and probably 4 months before my first trip ever, we were going the first week of December. First week of December is a very busy time to go now. Everybody wants to go. The points, everything's decorated beautifully. The points are lower in December. It's a very hard time to get. I was 5 months out. I booked 3 Value View studios at Animal Kingdom for myself and for my family members. The Value Views now sell out 11 months in advance, or sometimes more, with people walking their reservations. So, I mean, it used to be a lot easier to switch at 7 months out. So just to sit there and expect that you're easily going to be able to switch, I don't think that's going to always be the case. Sometimes you have to be flexible and say, at 7 months, I'll switch. Maybe my first choice of Beach Club won't be there, but Boulder Ridge will be there, or Animal Kingdom, or something else that you want. But the thinking it's going to happen every single time, definitely not the case.
Yeah, I mean, back in 2012, I think it was, I stayed at Beach Club in a studio for 3 nights over July 4th in like 2 months in advance, which that never happens.
Yep. So number 3 on this list is I did change this, and I was writing down some notes before, as you noticed, because I want to add on there, because you came up with a better option than what I had on here. It made me think of this as well. Waiting for your use year to book a room. I can't tell you, how you said like use year does not affect when you book. I can't tell you how many of our renters I've contacted and said, can you please book this reservation? And they go, well, I have to wait till June 1st to book the reservation. If they go, this has nothing to do with it. There's so many people who think that the points have to physically be in your account and it has to be after the day that you get them to book any reservation. So even if you want to go in July, they think that they have to wait till June 1st to book the July reservation, which, as you know, is not the case. As long as you're less than 7 months out, 11 months out, you could book anything you want. So we've had a lot of people who've made that mistakes over the years. They have to wait always.
Right. So, let's just say you have a December use year. It's February. So you're making a reservation 11 months in advance. And we'll say it's February of 2022. You want to book for December of 2022. Let's just say your points, let's say you've already used your points that are coming 12/1/22. Because you're booking it after December 1st, you can actually borrow from 12/1/23 to make that reservation. So yeah, you do not have to wait. Like he says, someone says, I have an August use year. I have to wait till August 1st to make the reservation.
It just reminded me. We had I don't remember the name, and I wouldn't mention the name anyway. But we had one of our DVC members who was upset because they said every year all that's left when they go to book the room is Saratoga Springs, and we found out it's because every year they thought they had to wait till their June 1st to book the room, and they like to travel in August, and they go every year I go to book, it stinks. All that's available is Saratoga Springs. It turns out because they didn't know that they were able to book 11 months in advance and thought they had to wait until their use year started. So that's a killer one to find out. Speaking of segues and killer ones, not realizing you can rent points. We had a renter who lost his points for 8 years in a row. He wasn't able to go.
When you say a renter, an owner.
An owner. My apologies. An owner. They became a renter. What happened is they got sick and they were not able to go to the parks for at the time. Actually, think about it now. This was probably 5 years ago, and at that time, 8 years in a row, they hadn't gone because they were sick, and he had no idea that he could rent out his points. This one I do remember the name on. I'm definitely not going to mention it. But just to sit there and find out that every year he was losing like 300 points. I mean, that's got a value of like $5,000. I mean, he did this 8 years in a row. I mean, he essentially lost out on $40,000 worth of revenue. And, you know, he still had to pay maintenance fees on that as well, but not realizing you can actually rent points. And there's a ton of people out there who don't know you can rent points, whether you're a DVC owner or somebody who's just coming to visit Disney. I always made the joke that if you walked around Magic Kingdom and asked people if they knew about renting DVC points, I'd say maybe only 1 or 2% would even know that's a thing. Most people just go, I go on the Disney site and whatever they charge me, that's what I pay. And they don't realize you can rent points out.
And I just want to add real quick, just on the DVC-rental, remember the dash, save the cash. You want to rent out your points. You put your points up for rent, and the DVC-rental team is going to get those points rented out for you. They're the ones that, you know, thousands of emails come in, check this, check this, check this. They're going to check availability. They're going to find what, you know, the person that we found availability for you. Do you want it? They want it. They're going to book it. I mean, they're going to make it as easy as possible to rent out your points. So renting out your points is not DVC-rental. They make it easy for you. So if you have points to rent out, they're going to make the process very easy.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we do. You know, some people try to rent them out on their own, and it's, you know, it can be done. It takes more work on your part to do it. But I mean, on average, we probably get 300 to 400 emails a day with checking availability and people who are looking to book rooms. I mean, we do all the legwork for you so that you don't have to sit there and check availability for 30 people to book one room. So again, we try to make it as easy as possible.
And plus, they're going to, you know, collect payment and...
Oh yeah, we handle everything for you. So there's some people give us their logins and we physically even book the rooms for you. You know, it's never mandatory. You don't have to. You're welcome to, you know, just have it that we'll email you the information and you book the rooms yourself. But again, there are people who say, you know what? The more you do, like this gentleman that I just mentioned before who lost the points, he just says, you know, here's my login. You handle everything for me. And he literally just sits back and just accepts the money from us. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. So the last one on my list, and this one stinks too, forgetting to bank your points. Now, Disney normally allows you a one-time exception where if you miss your banking window, you know, you're supposed to bank your points 4 months before they expire. And if you miss your banking window, they're not supposed to be bankable anymore. Disney normally has a one-time exception where if you call them on the phone, you get a good cast member and you say, hey, I forgot to bank my points this year, they'll normally bank them for you. I've heard that they've been a little more strict recently. I think because of COVID, there's a lot of more points in the system and Disney's not being as flexible as they normally are. You may still be able to get a good cast member that can help you, or going forward, hopefully when things point-wise go back to normal, that'll be the one-time exception again. But forgetting to bank your points is horrible because, you know, you've got a whole other year to use them. And now normally when you forget, that means they're expiring within 2 months and there's not much left. Or if you ask us to rent them out at that point, we're going to have to discount them to have any chance of getting them rented before they expire. So don't forget to bank your points.
And you want to, and of course your annual dues have to be current in order for you to, you know, get the one-time exception to bank your points.
Correct. Yeah. If you haven't paid Disney, they're not going to go out of their way to help you.
Right. And then, so I mean, I would definitely, I mean, Disney does do their best to try and send you an email to remind you to bank your points. But I would definitely put it on some type of calendar or device that you have, reminding yourself to bank the points. Because again, you know, most everybody does it online, you know. So if you, under the time frame, you can just go online and bank the points. But yes, if you miss your banking window, you want to call and you just want to, I mean, of course, everyone that watches this video, of course, is nice all the time. So you just want to continue to be nice to them, explain your situation, and a lot of times, again, this is under normal circumstances. If we say before March 2020, and once we get back to those times, a lot of times the cast member is going to try and help you out to bank the points. Because again, they bank the points, you use the points, you come to Disney, you spend more money, you know, you want to buy more points. It all works out in the end if Disney can get you to be able to use those points rather than just let them.
Yeah, and what I've told people in the past is that for some reason, if you get a cast member who's not willing to help you out, you just be courteous, say, okay, you know, thank you very much, hang up the phone, call back again, and hope that the next cast member is going to be a little more reasonable with banking them, or sometimes maybe possibly the previous cast member doesn't know how to do the exception to get around the rules. So it might just depend on who you get. So one of those things, if you get somebody and they say, oh, I'm sorry, it can't be done, again, still be polite, no reason to yell at them or anything, whether they might not know better or maybe they can't do it, call back, see if you get somebody else who could possibly has a little more experience who can help you out.
So just to summarize here real quick, let's see. So we talked about the differences between buying direct and buying resale with the perks. Again, just look into, talk to another member. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to use this to go on a cruise. And all of a sudden you talk to 5 members and they say, we'd never use our points to go on a cruise. I mean, just listen, just talk to other members before you think that you have to buy direct from Disney, because you may find out that what you think you want to do is not something that other people are doing or is a good value. Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, you see it all the time when people say, or they'll say, what, I bought these points to use them however I want. So if I want to, that's been a lot of responses I've seen online is that people go, you get much more bang for the buck if you rent out the points and use the cash to book the cruise. And they'll say, well, why would I do that? I've bought these points to vacation. I'm going to use them for the cruise. You go, had you rented the points, you could have used the money, paid for the cruise, bought yourself a new laptop, bought a new, LCD TV for your room. I mean, it's, I understand that, people sit there and they get in the mindset that this is what they're used for. But if you open up a little bit and think about it, a lot of times do better for yourself. And number two was expecting to easily switch at 7 months out. And again, many times there's availability 7 months out, but you can't expect to get 3 Value View Animal Kingdom rooms at the 7-month window, which again, used to be a lot easier to do. Now I think a lot more people know the system better, and every year there's more and more DVC members. So you just have to make sure that you plan accordingly. Like our good buddy King, book your home resort at 11 months, and that 7 months, see if there's something else that works out for you, and if not, put in the wait list that we spoke about. And I mean, it really kind of goes with a little bit with number one. I mean, there's such a high utilization rate for the Disney Vacation Club resorts. I mean, that's where people are using their points, because at this point they know that's where the best value is. You don't have a lot of members, using their points for other things. So that's why it's so competitive and hard to get into under 7 months. Yeah, absolutely. And the third one was the people who don't realize they can book their rooms 11 months in advance and think that they have to wait until their use year starts. I'm sorry for you guys out there, because I know I've seen this many times over the years. Please don't wait for your use year to start, because if you want to go in a couple months, you're not going to find anything. Yeah, 11 months in advance, 11 and 7 months, and that doesn't have anything to do with your use year, nothing. Number four was not realizing that you can rent your points out. Whether you're sick and you can't go, or you need money for kids going off to college. Your points have a value to them. Or you say you're going to Mount Rushmore this year. Oh yeah, exactly. Go to where? So, I'm not planning on Disney. I've heard there are places outside of Disney, and you say there's places. I know. I walk around World Showcase just so I can hit all the other countries, because I don't leave Disney property. But yeah, the points have a value to them. You've paid maintenance fees on them. You've paid your initial buy-in price. I mean, they have a value, and when you rent them out, I mean, you'll more than recoup what you put into it. So don't forget that you can rent your points out if you're not using them. Number 5? Number 5 was just forgetting to bank your points. And again, if it happens, and it does happen, everybody's lives get busy, contact Disney Vacation Club. See if you can have somebody to give you that one-time exception. Just say, hey, again, maybe don't say, hey, I heard there's a one-time exception. I mean, that could work. From Scott. Don't mention that. But you can just normally say, hey, I forgot to bank my points. If you want to give them some sort of story, you're welcome to. Oh, something got sick. I was busy. I was remodeling my kitchen. I totally forgot. Just be nice with the cast member. They're there to help you. And if they can't, maybe try a separate time. See if they can help you. Because Disney normally goes out of their way to try to help you and make sure that you're happy. So hopefully you remember those when you're using your membership or looking into membership. We thank you for tuning in. Be sure and hit the like button. Be sure and hit the subscribe button. Be sure and come back, because again, we've made it to episode 20. So be sure to come back to see episode 21. That's crazy that we're at 20 already. 20 weeks of this. And we're still talking about stuff. We haven't run out. I thought we were going to run out after week 2. So we're doing okay, I think. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Love you guys.